Thank you, Itamar. It was very interesting to hear about the journey that Crooked Plow has gone on. It's clearly a book that's loved by many people. So maybe it makes sense if we now talk about how it became loved by even more people through being translated into English. So maybe Johnny could talk about how he came across Itamar's work and how he became the translator.
I think when I found the book, I think I might have already been in lockdown, or if not, it was around, it was around the beginnings of COVID. But it was also, I should say, during the tremendous sort of cultural shock of Black Lives Matter here in the United States. And as Itamar is suggesting, I think with his story about how this book came to be, at least how it became a published object in the world, there's that moment where he's thinking, should I even spend the money on sending it by mail? And then later on, everything, it's not true at the time, but later on, it looks like everything is a matter of sort of confluence. I happened to be in this moment as a translator where I just finished translating a book by Clarice Lispector, and I was aware of a conversation in the United States. There's a writer by the name of John Keane who wrote an essay in which he said, quite directly, writers from the African diaspora are not getting translated. And as that was in my head, and as I thought to myself, in what way as a translator can I kind of speak to this moment? This book appeared on my phone. I have to admit, I read this on my phone. I hope that's not like, I usually give my students a hard time about reading on their phones, but I could read it on my phone because some books are hard to get here in the States. And it had just been published in Portugal. It just won the LeYa, and had not yet even been published in Brazil. And Itamar knows very well, because there's sort of a strange journey we've taken together. Even before it was published in Brazil, I was chatting him up, going, Itamar, I really want to translate this book. And I never told him this, but I always wanted, I had one journey to Salvador some years ago, and I was sort of in the presence of the Orishas. And I remember thinking that I actually didn't really see that many representations of Jaré or Candomblé, or the let's say the gods that traveled across the Atlantic. What I knew was basically from Jorge Amado. And as I'm reading this book, it was all just sort of like clear to me that I had to be a part of this project. Very early, I said to Itamar, I'm going to apply for a grant because I really want to translate your novel. And the way it all kind of worked out is very strange, because I think I received a phone call myself from the National Endowment for the Arts the same week that Itamar received the Jabuti. I had already been translating the book, but once you get some support like that from an institution with that kind of renown, it really pushes the project forward and cemented the fact that I would be translating this book. So looking back, it all seemed like it was just the rivers sort of meeting and going towards the sea. But there are these sort of pivotal moments, as we always know, where you look back and you say, things could have gone this way or that way. You reach a crossroads, and forgive me for invoking the Orisha, but Eshu smiled at this project. Eshu is the divinity of the crossroads. So.
Sim,
Exactly. And it's the Orisha of communication, Johnny, as well. So I think, yes, he is connected to authors and writers.